been talking about children. I want to talk about how Western/European children fucking suck. We need to step up our fucking game, people. I watched an Indian kid who's like 3 play with a snake today. This snake was easily, 11 times his size? This snake could have devoured him. And you're telling me American children are afraid of the dark and spiders? This kid played with a snake.
I'm a grown adult and I don't like spiders. Are you kidding me?
I can kill a spider pretty easily.
I think Western children need to be playing with snakes.
Picking them up, throw them around, have a good time, bat them around.
Play with your snake.
Use a battle noodle.
Not that snake.
They're too young.
The scary kind. The kind with the big teeth.
The type that could kill you with one bite.
I got teeth on you.
The kind that are 11 times your size and could literally asphyxiate you and kill you.
I think we're definitely...
We're still talking about mine, right?
Yeah, we're still definitely on the same topic. Teeth, 11 times your size.
Snake.
I definitely think that Western children, this is encompassing Europe and America, I definitely think Western children have been...
or just first world.
Yeah, first world children in general. Have been kind of pussified in a way. And not so much in the fact, like, politically or anything, but the fact that they're expected now to not take accountability for anything. They're expected more to look up towards somebody else to grant them things that they can get themselves. Like... I'm not talking about housing or food or any shit like that, because obviously if you don't have a job, you're not 18 or any shit like that, you can't provide that for yourself. But I mean, the very self-gratifying things that children nowadays always want. I want this brand new iPhone. I'm 14. I'm 14. I can do work around my house. I can get an allowance, but I want this phone. If you don't buy it for me, you're a shitty parent and I hate you.
Well,
stop giving your kids iPads.
Also, that's not all parents.
No.
This is like a small minority.
I feel like us all here, we're not a product of that.
No, we're pretty privileged, but we're not like little shitheads.
Yeah,
I'm still kind of the byproduct of a boomer-esque way of parenting, because the Midwest is still very old-fashioned in their parenting way, especially outside of the city.
I mean, I have always said that our generation is pseudo early 2000s, pseudo 90s kids.
Yeah.
Because we had all of the entertainment and media and toys and shit that the kids in the 90s had, but we just weren't born late enough to have iPhones for our 3rd birthday.
Especially you and I had older siblings.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of handed down to us.
I used to go to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
You ask people 2 years younger than us, did you go to Blockbuster? What the fuck is Blockbuster?
Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah.
I mean, unless you had a younger brother.
Yeah.
Like me.
Yeah.
I think like another big thing is kind of the idea of that like kind of ruins Western children growing up is the idea of the participation trophy.
Dude.
Yeah, and not enough snakes.
Like, I get what they were trying to do with the participation trophy, but at the same time, it's like...
You just get a whole box. I have so many stupid participation
The
medals.
thing is with them is that I don't mind if you're trying to include everybody. That's fine. Everybody should be included, because kids who aren't included, they grow up feeling as if they don't belong, and that shouldn't happen. So include the kids in whatever. But the thing is, don't hand them a trophy and don't hand them saying, you earned this just by participating.
Well,
because it plants the idea that they're deserving of something. They're deserving of a reward, some sort of gratification, or
just because they did something.
Yeah.
It's like you have to work hard for it.
But here's the thing. I think that kids, every person ever, should have a point in their life where they're like, I don't belong. Because that divides yourself from the group and creates your individual identity.
But you're not supposed to have that when you're a young adolescent, impressionable child still growing up.
Children, yes. I think it's when you hit middle school. Every kid is like, literally when you're 14, around 14, is the time in your life that you literally feel the most.
Yeah.
Like hormones and
crazy stuff. That's just puberty, though. That comes with puberty and your social surroundings. What I'm talking about is growing up from age 1 to like age 12, age 13. Because at that stage, you're still kind of in that state where everything that happens around you will have a gigantic impact on who you become as a person. And not to say that ages 14 and up don't have it, but especially in your super young years, those are the years that are most important to you for developing, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have the biggest impact on you.
Well, they say like when you're by the age of 5, you've learned 80% of everything you'll ever know. I don't know if that's true, but when you think about it, cognitive skills, walking, talking, just general,
How to get through life.
yeah, behavior and
Social life.
mannerisms. You've learned pretty much all those by the age of 5.
Yeah.
You know what? We're teaching children completely wrong. We need to militarize children. We need to get it so that children are making political moves at the age of 6 and learn how to backstab their friends so that by the time they're 12, they don't realize the world is fucked. They already know that from entering kindergarten.
Well, that's kind of 1984 again. That's kind of what they do is they
a little bit.
hit kids against
Have you?
their parents.
I feel like you would like the documentary Boys State.
We can chain up
I've heard that's
the
pretty good.
weak kids who are too afraid to make their political backstabbing moves to a kid who is strong and arm the kid that is strong with a knife, and they protect the small, weak kid.
Now we're getting to the political theory, where it's the head person is the headpiece of, all the other people that don't want to do anything below.
There's another, going off that weak kid idea, people evolve over time. Like, you could take, could take like a kid who had like a really shitty upbringing, like, look at David Goggins, for example.
I don't know who that is.
He was a Navy SEAL. Basically, his dad beat him up. He had a really bad life, and now he's like a Navy SEAL and runs ultra marathons. Like, he's a badass.
Yeah.
And people can change dramatically throughout life.
Yeah,
so it's like,
no doubt.
I feel like, yes, protecting people. It's like the whole sheep and wolves.
So when the weak kid grows stronger than the strong kid, he kills him and takes his place as the head.
Maybe not that.
Yeah.
But you're on the right track, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you remove the murder part and the knife.
A little, just get it out of the picture.
Yeah.
As harsh and kind of retarded as it sounds, I don't think teaching kids the kind of idea of social Darwinism at a young age isn't a terrible idea.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot harder to kidnap a 3-year-old when he's surrounded by 3 other armed 3-year-olds with knives and are trained in martial arts.
Not that, but what I mean
Who's doing that?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out something.
I think that was me, like, trying to...
Yeah, I think that's Gage.
Okay. Anyway, not arming children with knives, but more...
Guns.
No, not arming them at all. But more just the idea...
Kids have no arms.
Fuck's sake.
Edward Scissorhands, but it's children.
I think that having kids kind of learn the general idea of social Darwinism as they age rather than thrusting them into it as they're older is... You don't have to go intense at first, but just show them the idea, show them what it means, and show them how it happens. Because I've seen multiple people that I've known personally, they realize coming out of high school, they are not the coolest, they're not the smartest, they're not the fastest or the strongest, and they can't deal with it.
No, yeah.
I've had close friends have complete breakdowns because they could not fathom the idea that they were not the best at everything. And that's where you kind of have to learn, you sink or swim. You learn that you have to be the strongest and the best, the fastest, the smartest, or you're not going to succeed. As shitty as it sounds, that's how this world operates.
Children with brass knuckles.
I'm going to ignore you for a while.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
There's kind of a... I'm very thankful. I don't think I've had any friends who will have peaked in high school. I've had friends where they're completely different people in high school, and then they get out of high school, completely change, they adapt.
Yeah.
I learned this when I first started driving. My first time I ever drove, I was like scared, insane. Like I was going like 20, and then like I'd like be going 55 and a 35, and I'd be like, oh, But driving home from where I was going, I adapted already, and I already knew what I was doing, and I was thinking, oh wow, humans know how to adapt to not die really easily.
Yeah, you have savant
And
syndrome?
that kind of, dude, I think I might have savant.
You might, dude.
I don't know. I just feel like kids need to learn that they need to adapt and overcome at a younger age.
Yeah.
Which kids kind of do already. Don't get me wrong. I know kids like aren't completely retarded little brainlets, but you also shouldn't be enforcing this idea that they're deserved a trophy for something just because they were a part of it or just because they exist.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a very toxic way to bring a child up.
It's a weird thing though with like the whole trophy thing because it's like I see where you're coming from, but at the same time it could be like a memory when you're like 20. You look back and you're like, oh, I remember when I was 7. Like I had this trophy kind of thing. It's like a memory thing rather than like
you don't deserve a memory you didn't earn. Anyways, I've abandoned the chaining idea because I've thought of it.
I can't even argue with him.
I've thought of an even better system. No chains involved.
Oh my.
Put a bunch of children in a room, starting first grade, right? Teach them the concept of hunting your food.
You're such an
Leave them in there with no food, lock the doors. The one who eats the rest of the children, they get to go to grade 2.
Scouting on steroids. Not even steroids. Scouting on crocodile.
We're hazing you starting when you're born.
That's more than
That's
just
what they slap the kid on the butt when they're born. That was like a thing in the 70s or 60s or 50s.
Oh, what is it called?